The building was still standing, but the company was already dying. Emails went unanswered. Invoices piled up. Meetings ended in silence. Every second felt heavier than the last. Inside the boardroom, men in expensive suits stared at numbers they no longer understood. Losses, delays, deadlines missed. And at the head of the table sat a man who had built this empire from nothing, now watching it slowly collapse. What no one noticed was the man walking quietly through the glass doors. No panic, no urgency. Just calm eyes, observing everything. He didn't speak, he didn't rush. Because while everyone else was reacting, he was already 10 moves ahead. When the company began to sink, the calls went unanswered. Investors disappeared. Advisors gave excuses. Until finally, one call was made out of desperation, not hope. The CEO thought he was asking for help. He had no idea. He had just invited the most dangerous mind into the room. He didn't arrive as a savior. He arrived as nothing important. No title, no announcement, no respect. Just another name added to the system. He chose it that way because power is loud, but intelligence prefers to listen. He didn't even look up. He takes the badge, no hesitation. He searched, he observed, and oh, he day when he was mocked, he finally spoke up.
Any questions from the cleaner?
Just one. Why are your projections based on last year's assumptions?
Because that's how it's always been done.
That answer told him everything he needed to know. Not about the numbers, but about the people running them. He didn't try to fix anything. Not yet. First, he needed to understand how the damage was being hidden. He watches workflows, notices inefficiencies, egos, fake data, small visual cues. He remembers everything begins mapping problems mentally. Failures were being renamed, losses were being delayed, truth was being reorganized. The company wasn't drowning, it was being held underwater.
But sir, we need this deal.
They made me wait. That was their mistake. I don't wait. Ever.
Every system has pressure points. Every lie creates one. And he was quietly memorizing all of them. He asks simple-looking questions that make people uncomfortable.
Why does procurement report to marketing?
It just happened that way.
At night, while floors were wiped clean, he quietly copied files. Financial reports, internal emails, approval logs. Not stealing for chaos, but for correction. He fixed documents silently, corrected timelines, restored missing data, aligned numbers with truth. No signatures, no names, just accuracy. And slowly, the system responded. Revenue stabilized. Deadlines returned. Clients stayed. Managers smiled again. They took credit. Meetings became louder. Egos grew faster than profits. Yet behind closed doors, they were confused. Because nothing they changed explained why things were suddenly working. They didn't know. The company wasn't being managed. It was being corrected. The boardroom was full. Confidence everywhere. Until a voice spoke from the back. Not loud, not aggressive, just curious. He asked a question, then another, then one more. Each answer contradicted a document. Each document contradicted an email. Each email contradicted a decision. No accusations, just silence. Because lies collapse fastest when asked to explain themselves. The room realized something terrifying. Someone here knew everything. No one was blamed. No one was exposed directly. They exposed themselves. The board called for restructuring. Executives were dismissed quietly. The company was saved publicly. The man in the cleaning uniform stood up. No applause, no recognition. Just a nod toward the CEO. And then he walked out. Employees returned to a healthier company. New energy, new order. No one noticed the cleaner was gone, except one man, the CEO. The CEO in the office looks at his phone as the message appears. On the screen, one final line. Not everything that matters makes noise. Growth is usually quiet. A pause. Then another line appears. I know you want big results. Just don't ignore the small, silent work that creates them. The CEO exhales. A faint smile breaks through years of pressure. Years ago, there were only two things in that room: big dreams and long nights. One of them spoke endlessly about the future, about building something that would matter. The other didn't say much. He listened, he observed, he remembered. While one chased the spotlight, the other learned how systems worked and why they failed. He tried to make him understand.
I'm not against you. I just don't want you to get hurt.
You don't need to explain anymore.
He realized that's his journey. Some lessons aren't learned through words. He'll understand when he faces it himself. They don't say goodbye. They don't need to. With time, they move forward, each toward a different path.